I'm Ryan Reyes.
And I'm Dominic Angel.
And we are Un Poquito
Podcast. Can we get like explosions under, for post?
Un Poquito Podcast, exploring Latino culture little by little.
I forgot how to do this.
Okay.
If you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Comments make you sexy. Follow us on social media at Un Poquito Pod. Send us an email at unpoquitopod@gmail.com. If you're on Spotify or Apple Music, leave a review. 5 stars, please.
And if you're looking to support us, we have a public Discord that you can find in the links in the description or the bios of any of our online pages. And we have a Patreon. Starting at $2, you get access to bonus content, early access to ad-free content, and even Patreon-exclusive episodes. So,
well, today, I'm very excited. We had to squeeze him into our schedule. Visiting all the way from the East Coast. Please welcome Che Guerrero. Hell yeah. Thanks for being here.
Oh, man,
AKA my undocumented ass. It's so funny because I'll plug your profile every so often and I'm like, yeah, Che Guerrero, my undocumented ass.
Yeah. It is weird to meet people and they'd be like, yo, it's my undocumented ass. And I'm like, shh, say Che. Just say Che, That's fun.
But thanks for being here, man.
Thank you.
How are you? Is this your first time in California?
This is my second time. My first time, I came to do the San Luis Obispo Comedy Festival.
Okay.
So I landed in LA for a day, went there, came back, and then went back home. So this is actually my first time actually hanging out in LA, going to San Francisco. Yeah. So it's cool to check out the actual scene.
How are you dealing with the time change? You're 3 hours behind us.
I told you, yeah. When I first landed, I've been up since technically 4 a.m. East Coast time, which is 1 here, yesterday, and then all that flight, all that travel, and then I booked the show, so I literally did not even sleep all day. On stage, I was it was warped, man. I was on stage, it was 10, but it was really 1 a.m. where I was at, and I was 24 hours up. I'm ready to go home.
Dude, I haven't done the time change thing, but I drove 14 hours with Ryan to Portland, from LA.
18.
Well, it was 18 hours, 14 hours
break.
of driving. We took a 2-hour break, but we couldn't stop because first of all, I wanted to fly up. Ryan doesn't fly.
Okay.
So I was like, fuck it, I'll just drive. Ryan doesn't drive, so I have to drive the whole way.
Oh my gosh, you are the
So I drove up and we stopped. There's a Denny's halfway.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we stopped, charged our phones, ate a little bit, and then probably closed my eyes for 30 minutes. The thing is that I had to check into the Airbnb at 4 p.m. and then I had a show at 6 p.m. I think it was. So by the end of the trip, I was getting double vision, it was like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And then you go in, I think we had enough time for me to lay down for an hour.
Yeah.
But you can't sleep.
You can't. You're too anxious because you're worried about you're gonna miss the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm like that.
That's
how I was. It was I'm gonna take 20 minutes back nap, which is me with my eyes closed 20 minutes going, don't oversleep, don't oversleep,
exactly.
don't oversleep.
Yeah, and it just makes it worse.
Yeah.
And then I showed up, and then you do the thing where you go into autopilot, and you're just I hope this works.
Yeah. That's why now that I'm in a little bit of a better place, usually when someone's hey, can you come do a show? I'm like, can you fly me out the day before? Can we at least trust me? You want me at my best. I'm not trying to be a diva. I'm just you want me at least to be refreshed enough to do a show that I can riff and do things and make it more fun than just autopilot.
Yeah, because it's at the time it's one of those things where you have to because you don't have the prestige or whatever to
clout to
be yeah,
I want a Lamborghini and I won 3 days before.
Yeah, I haven't done that in forever. And then that was when I was 26 or 27.
Yeah.
And now
That was 2-3 years in, right?
Yeah, it was 2-3 years in, so I was probably 27.
How old are you now?
I'm 31.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna be 35, so I get that.
Yeah,
I started when I was 18, so it was 12 shows a day I would do in New York, and now I'm 1 a week. I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy.
Well, I heard that there's a big difference between LA comedy. One of the big differences is that shows start later in LA. On the East Coast, if it says it's gonna be at 8, downbeats at 8.
Oh, that's the one thing I do think about. I was telling you, about starting comedy in New York. I started when I was 18 because I was undocumented. That's why I started doing comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So I took it serious because I was I probably have no other pathway to a future. So let me do this. And I started with comedy with some people who were yo, let's do 10 shows a day or let's do as many, like for about 10 years, I was doing 30 for 30. You know, those 30 days in a month, I had to perform 30 times. February was sweet. I only had to do 28, you know what I mean? And, you know, but it was like 2 or 3 a day and then take one day off and stuff like that. So I did that for 10 years and I got my Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours in. So that's why, like, I'm a little more comfortable with my voice, but I like it. Like, but yeah, it's very different.
I don't like my voice.
People love your voice.
Everybody
I
loves
love
it.
your voice.
They're like, you should read audiobooks. I'm like, why? I'm trying to think of like a popular book, but I can't think of it. I once got mistaken for a lawyer. What is it? Steinbeck. Which book is it?
It was the best of times.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it was the
worst time.
Exactly.
What?
Stop Steinbeck.
Oh shit! I kicked the.
That'd be great. Audiobook was just that kind of.
My bad. Sorry, I kicked the camera. I'm sorry, Josh.
Don't do it. Fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh, I feel like that thing about LA shows is literally just because everyone has to take freeways everywhere. Like, we don't say the show's like at 8, we say doors open at 8, and then the show starts whenever everybody's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I definitely have been a person that I make it a point to be like doors at 8 because people say 8 p.m. and then they're like, well, when are you? There's also a very LA thing. Where it's like, well, when are you performing? And it's like,
yeah, people kept asking me yesterday,
Yeah.
like, when are you performing?
At
I'm like,
8,
I think
when
I'm going up closer to 9, and they showed up like 8:40, and I was like, well, at least y'all made it for me, but everybody was like, when are you performing? When are you doing your thing? Yeah, they wanted to get there for what they have to get there for.
That's why I just started, unless it's like a pop-up show where it's kind of like I'm gonna pop in, do my set, and then leave. I started telling people just when the doors open. It was like, well, doors open at 7, so you can show up at 7,
Yeah.
and I'll be there sometime.
yeah.
And then like and also sometimes I don't know when I'm going up until like right when I get there to see the set list. So I'll be honest with them, and they'll be like, so when are you going up? I'm like, I don't know, at the end.
And they've missed you. You went up second.
You gotta show up to find out.
I think it's a difference. Every year they're gonna, like California or LA says they're gonna change the after hours law or whatever,
Okay.
where like bars can stay open till 4.
Okay.
But I think that might have something to do with it too. Like on the East Coast, you know that you can still do other things.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
you're okay with short, but there's such a finite time because like I have friends on the East Coast and they're like, yeah, shit doesn't start going down to like 11.
Yeah.
And like here it's like you gotta be done at 11 o'clock is late. Like
I appreciate states that close at 2. As an older man, you know what I mean? Growing up in New York, I was like, yeah, I want to stay till 4. All right, but then when you go to states, like we close at 2, you're like, yes, I can do that. 1:30, you're like, ooh, let's get going. You know, like
yeah.
I could totally do that. I love states like that.
Perfect for anxiety.
Yeah.
I got loopy at that time because I don't sleep much regardless, but
Regardless.
I definitely every time. But I definitely like feel the physical strain of like being. It's less of a thing of like I get sleepy and more just like that my body gets tired of being around other people.
It's not me, guys.
It's everyone
else.
It's my body, okay, and I have to respect my body.
Yeah.
No, but like we've been out. Like if I'm active, like physically active, and not just like at home doing what I want to do for more than like 12 hours, I get weird. Like I get loopy.
Okay, 12 hours is pretty big. You're not alone in that, Ryan.
Yeah.
I mean, but you know what I mean. Like when we used to do it at Drew Iris' house, I'd like suddenly fall asleep sometimes.
I see what you're saying.
Because it's a thing of like I'm not sleepy, but I have like nothing that's keeping my attention, so I just like turn off.
Yeah.
No, social meter. Yeah, it's just pretty much done.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to record 2 episodes in a day, then do a live stream for an hour.
And it's like after that, if he wants to hang out, I'm like, it's not that I'm not down, but I'm at a gas guy.
One thing that's interesting is like Che was like, you were probably the first person with like, you're probably like my first like TikTok friend that I interacted with when we started Isimo, and like obviously you were on there before I was, but like it felt like we were both like figuring our shit out at the same time.
Yeah. Like about 2 years ago. Yeah, I was just trying to figure out like really how to get people to engage with my stuff and things like that.
Yeah, but it was interesting because you do like actual like when people like call me a creator, I'm like, I'm not a TikTok creator, like I'm not a content creator. I don't,
right,
because you were actually doing the thing. Like you you do like sketches and like do the trends and do like, and now you have your own thing, which is really cool. But that was always interesting. I like, cause I feel like for myself, like I'm just posting clips like of something that I do outside of TikTok and like outside of Instagram. Like, so it was always interesting for me to like, how was that experience for you? Cause I know like in the beginning you're going back and forth from like posting stand-up clips to posting like these sketches. And like for you, where did that decision to like focus on like the sketches come?
You know, I had an opportunity to like submit something from TikTok, and I actually won like $50,000 from them. Yeah. So I was able to like take that money and just like stay home for the last like 7-8 months and really like hone in on like what I'm doing. And yeah, I was putting like stand up and doing like some undocumented stuff, but I realized like, yo, I love making content. Like, I don't care if it's like a trending sound or if it is coming up with a sketch and figuring out, just like, I love being creative all day. So that's where I've gotten pretty lucky to be able to do this full time, like from home. But also when you kind of like, I do like so many kind of different TikTok stuff, you kind of become part of what I think of like the public forum, like the public square, you know, where everybody's having conversations. So I kind of feel like I'm able to get up on the platform and be like, this is what's happening. And, you know, more than most people can. Cause like, I remember I did a video about, unfortunately, this undocumented person, Angie Diaz, who was decapitated by her white husband. She was undocumented.
It just happened.
It just happened. And that conversation was pretty much like, immigrant killed by white man. I looked up that she was undocumented. I really brought that and sort of like trauma that undocumented people face when we can't, go for help, and especially like how some white people will weaponize the fact that they know we're undocumented and we need papers. So what was cool is at first I got a lot of shit for like, why are you bringing up this kind of stuff, this woman? And then the conversation of like, no, he's right. Like, these kinds of things happen to people. This woman was exploited in this sense. So that was kind of cool to get up there in the public forum, speak my truth. And then more people were like, actually, you know what? That's actually a narrative that we should be talking about. So I take that with a lot of responsibility and respect.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I do feel like there's like a few people that are like, they're part of TikTok, like the umbrella. Like when I think of like TikTok and like especially like discourse, it's like you. I forget his first name, but
Carlos Espinosa, usually like a Spanish dude.
Yeah, Senor Barragan.
Senor Barragan, he also does those kinds of things.
He's big on that, and like, or even just like there's like that's like the undocumented, the Latino discourse. Yeah. So, but it's like it's crazy because it is like, do you feel the pressure to like comment on stuff as it happens? Like,
people send me a lot of things. They're like, hey, check this out. Like, this is what's going on. That's why I thought about doing the newsletter, because I can't always make videos about everything. But I think if I could like at least put it together and people, hey, these are the news that are happening in our community. These are like, I can write some jokes about them to kind of ease into that kind of stuff. But it is a little overwhelming sometimes, because I don't want to be like just posting for clout. Like, that's why we're like, again, not to bring up Angie, but like when that thing happened, I was like, what happened to her? Like, I really did my research. I read like almost 9 articles on her before I even like opened my mouth, because I wanted to make sure that like I had all the information. So I try to be a little more kind than some people are, except when it comes to like shitting on white people. Like, I don't do my research and all that. And by the way, like,
you don't need to do research.
I don't do my research on white people. No, I don't give a fuck. And people always go like, it's funny. Like, I live my life by like hip hop quotes, right? So like when people go like, yo, why don't you like do a little more research on these white people? I mean, maybe you don't have all the information. I always go. My favorite is Run the Jewels, and Killer Mike was like, we should talking about white people. Was like, we should waterboard them. We're doing it for freedom because they did it for boredom. Fuck it, if a few good die, the Lord will sort them. That's what I say. That's like, we're like, why do you go on white people? Like, fuck it, the Lord will sort them. If I got it wrong, the Lord will sort them. You know what I mean? All I'm doing is calling them out on their bullshit. What's the worst that I've done to them? They're not gonna lose their job. They're not gonna, I've called out white people for not paying undocumented people. They still got their businesses. They're still doing every fucking thing they were doing before. But
it's also like, this fool decapitated somebody.
Yeah.
Like what research do I need to do on this person?
But it was more for her that I was doing the research
no,
for.
right,
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But some people were like, with these white people, I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna be too kind to them.
It's also a thing where like, I try to, the thing that sucks, and I'm not saying it's the best thing, but like it's a thing as a person of color, as a brown person, giving people the benefit of the doubt. Like, you know, you grew up undocumented. Do you mind if I ask, like, how old were you when you came to the United States?
Yeah, I was 6. I came because my father was like really abusing my mom, and so and he had like, you know, he's educated, a little political clout, not political, but he knows, you know, people and power and stuff. So it was very hard for her to get help. So she like concocted this plan with my grandma like in the middle of the night to like get us out of DR. So we haven't gone back since I was 6. Yeah, we overstayed our visa. That's how we did it.
So like, but you have like, I guess like the question is like, how do you feel like, because I'm sure you had to like learn a new language and like learn how to like exist in this country, but you also have like ties culturally to like your home, you know, the actual Latin America, right?
Yeah.
Like for us, we're born here, we're no Sabo kids, like we don't speak Spanish, you know, and there's a lot of cultural learning that we have to do. But just like, it's like a weird thing of like existing amongst so many white people and in a country like the United States, where like this whole benefit of the doubt thing really only benefits, it tends to put you, I don't want to say in danger, but you get the short end of the stick when you give somebody the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And so I can see that the kind of the need to like, no, I'm gonna do the opposite and like assume the worst, because the worst can happen. Yeah. And then if it's not the worst, then it's like, sorry, dude. Like,
you know, it's crazy. Like, when you grow up, I mean, now I'm a little more vocal about it, but like, you know, growing up my whole life, my mom was like, no le diga nadie, no le diga nadie, you know, like, tell them you were born like in you know, in Queens, tell them all this. Like, honestly, for a while there, I became almost like the Joker, you know, from The Dark Knight, where like every time he told the scars, it was like a different story. You know, and it's like, you want to know where I was born? You know what I mean? It was always like a different story, but like I try to make it as American as possible. Like, that's the kind of thing. And it's crazy because like one time I dated this girl for 6 months. You know, and, you know, it was great, but then we ended it. And then, like, years later, we found out that, like, we were both undocumented, like, had no papers when we were dating each other. And we actually, like, had hopes that each other had, like, and we're like, wait a minute. Like, we were both banking on each other? That's ridiculous. When we were like, so you're a citizen? Nope, what about you?
That is so funny.
So that's, like, how crazy, how much you keep it a secret. That literally, I was dating for someone 6, and neither of us told each other we were undocumented.
Damn.
Yeah. Met her family, met mine. Nobody talked about it.
That was just funny if you go to the altar and then it's like, wait, you're so I guess we're just leaving, huh? Like,
so I guess we just like love each other. We thought we were both getting something out of this, yeah. So that was crazy. That's how much you have to protect yourself. That even, you know, somebody who's also Latino, you think like, nah, I can't like really share this too much.
Hey, y'all, we want to take a second to thank our sponsor, LegacyTeasandSpices.com. It's a company run by our mom, Angel Mesqua. Thanks, Mom. To celebrate the new year, 2023, Legacy Teas and Spices is offering 23% off all orders. All you have to do is use the code UP23. I'm going to tell you guys something. Tea is fucking delicious. Coffee can suck my balls. All you have to do is use code UP23 at LegacyTeasandSpices.com, where you can check out a wide variety of delicious teas and spices. I don't know if I told you guys this, but I'm pretty important, and I have a signature tea. Ryan doesn't have one because we all hate Ryan. You can check out my signature blend, Domsy the Bombsy, which is a black tea roasted mate base with coconut and cacao nibs. It's fucking delicious, all right? You guys like me, you hate Ryan, you like my tea, use code UP23 at LegacyTeasandSpices.com. Try it now. I thought that was great.
One thing I thought was interesting was this kind of growing sentiment of like, even though you have to be aware and protect yourself, people are starting to like also stand up for themselves as individuals. Like I'm pretty sure it was one of your recent videos of those like they were undocumented, they were construction workers.
Oh yeah, that was my new breaking news.
Yeah. Who were hired to do a job, and then the person that hired them refused to pay them, so they undid their work.
Oh yeah.
They literally tore down the house.
Hell yeah.
And that's actually like I love that video because I'm like, yeah, forget this whole going through the courts, forget like, because white people create these systems where like, why can't you be civil and take me to court and do the like,
can't you pay me?
You have more money than me. You have more time than me. I literally did this house so I can pay for my fucking bills. So I'm gonna take my work back, and I love that. Just take your work back.
Hell yeah,
Done.
dude. Put that on
Simple
a
as
shirt.
that. Take your work back. Put that on a shirt and smoke
You
it.
made a shirt recently, right? Like, what was the quote?
Créame, bro.
Yeah.
Like it was just like just white people just like believe me, bro. So I was like, créame, bro. Yeah, that shirt actually did pretty well. I got to donate some money to Puerto Rico, which I was very happy about.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that growing sentiment of like Latinos kind of being more sort of assertive about like the respect that comes from their work. Like even that street in LA that we visit, what's it called again? It's outside of Union Station. Overa Street.
Yeah.
There's all these businesses and stores there that have been there for the longest time. And when we were kids, you'd go there and things were like $10, $20. And now it's like leather work is like $40 to $100. Like anything handcrafted is upwards of $40, $60. And it's because they know that it's like white people coming for the aesthetic of it. So they're like, okay, but we're also going to like get what we're worth out of it.
No, it's crazy. This country, like I remember I was talking to somebody after the show last night, and they were telling me that they had a cousin who like just showed up at the door from Mexico, like actually Peru, excuse me. Hey, I'm here. I walked from Peru. I'm here, and the kid is like 21, and they said that within 3 months of living in this country, this Peruvian dude was like, this country sucks. Like, what the fuck? Like, you have to work super hard. Everything's expensive. They don't give you health care. They treat you like shit. And I was laughing when they were telling me that story because I was like, yo, before it took immigrants almost 30 years to realize this country sucks, it took this guy weeks. That's how bad America needs to fucking shape up because immigrants are figuring out fucking fast, bro. Fucking fast. So, yeah, so that ripping up the house, that wouldn't have happened 20 years ago because they'd be like, no, we just found another job, whatever. These guys know, fuck this shit. Life is too expensive, and I'm not going to let this woman knock me out of $3,000 when this is what I fucking need today. $3,000 isn't going to get me through for the next month. $3,000 is going to get me through today. Fuck you.
That's the shit that's crazy is that it's like a thing where like capitalist is too stupid for its own good. Like, no, because it's like it's all about making money and it's all about exploiting people. But if like you were smart, it's like the whole thing about like what's Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt,
Yeah.
like his all his social programs, it was like literally like he told like business people and Congress people, like I don't know the exact quote, but it was like essentially he was saying like, hey, you have to give them a little bit so that like you can take more. Like that's FDR was like this like socialist hero, but he was literally like, no, you have to give them something so that you can have more in the long run. And it's like I feel like that's what's going on right now is just like people don't want to give the poor more or give people what they're worth or they don't want to give up anything. All they're doing is taking more. And it's like, you're stupid because like, how are you going to make money if everybody's dead, if everybody's starving, if nobody's working? Like what,
literally that was like,
that help you?
There's the mindset of like, the guy that started Ford, I forget his first name, but his last name was Ford. Literally that was his mindset. And that's like why weekends were a thing, summer vacation became a thing. He's like, well, if everyone's working at my factory, nobody's buying my cars.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. That's smart.
Yeah. It's like stuff like that. Or also like there was a thing where like credit became a thing. And it's like, there's always these things that they realize like, well, if everybody's working, nobody can buy. So we have to give them time off. We have to give them a raise so that they can actually buy the thing. And then credit, like they made things so expensive. So then they started giving people credit. So it's like, well, you can still buy it, but like you'll buy it on credit. And then, and then now it's like a thing. They did the same thing with the housing, and that's what was the bubble market. And like, but now there's nothing in place. Like maybe they'll come up with something, but it's like, there's nothing in place to like rescue people, like, and to help to continue the exploitation of people. Now it's just like all a full throttle exploitation.
Everybody's getting squeezed. I mean, like, like I don't know why I snap all the time at business people because I'm like, fucking capitalism sucks. Like, did I rented a car while I'm here? And online it said like $400. And I was like, cool. And I got to like the counter, and after everything, the woman was like $1,000 for everything. And I literally went, "You fucking thieves!" And everybody looked at me. I was like, "We're okay with this?" And my writing partner, she's just laughing. They're just laughing. I'm like, they're like, "I love you," because I'm like, yeah, we're all just fucking okay with this fucking capitalism. We should all be yelling, knocking shit over. Like, you told me 400, I got 400. Fuck you. Like, we're here. But no, because everybody's like, okay, well, just $60 more, $80 more, and before you know it, you're fucked by 1,000. Everybody's just okay with it. I yell everywhere I go. I get discounts mostly, but I yell everywhere I go. I don't care.
Hey, you got to make some noise.
I'm from New York too. I'll make some fucking noise anywhere I go, you know?
I know everybody out here is like very polite and like.
Yeah. But I was also trying to make a laugh. I was like, where do you live? Because I'm coming over to your house to cook dinner because I cannot afford to eat while I'm here now. And you're like, oh, no. I'm like, no, I'm still trying to make you laugh, but this shit's fucking ridiculous. You just upcharge me $600.
But that's the thing too, is that I feel like a lot of people, they just do things because people, like you said, like people should be questioning things and saying stuff, because a lot of times you do it and they'll fucking work with you. Like they want money, no matter what.
Yeah.
So if they'll charge you 1,000 to see if like you're cool with it, and then they'll work down from there.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with like phone companies, even credit companies. Like there's a lot of stuff where if you just like question it, like with like healthcare, a thing that I've seen a bunch of times is people like get a really expensive like healthcare bill, and then what happens is like you're paying insurance companies to negotiate the cost down or whatever. But if you don't have insurance, like you can call the whoever's charging you, you call the company and you're like, so can you explain these charges to me? And then they'll just start like taking charges away.
Yeah. When I was like, you know, in my worst undocumented situation, I would get like bogus tickets or whatever, like parking tickets, driving tickets. Like I would just pay them right away. I would just be like, no, I'm not going to fight this, not guilty. But then my white partner was like, that's what they fucking want, man. They don't want you to fight it. Like most of these cops don't even show up. And, you know, like I got like a little status, and she was like, just fight one. Please, just for me, just fight one. Just fight one, please. You pay these shits off. Just fight one. And I did. And I was like, fuck, I'm going to go. And I went to the court, and the guy was like, you know, did the thing. I was like, where's the cop? The cop wasn't even there. They got the let go of my ticket. It was like a $120 ticket. And I'm like, yeah, especially for undocumented people and like people like, you know, with no status, like they want to scare us to not even come in and try and fight this. Because the judge dismisses so quick. I'm like, how many times can I fucking want these things when I knew I had the proof to be like, no, I had insurance. I just didn't have it in the car. You know, or something like that. Or, you know, it just, they just want you to give up.
Right. So, push back.
Push back, though.
And the thing that gets me about that whole situation is, like, there are definitely people that'll hear that stuff and be like, well, if you don't like it, why don't you leave? It's like, well, why don't you want it to be better? It affects you, too. Like, you can't leave.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like somebody sheet under your head and you're like, actually, it's quite refreshing. Like,
it's true. Like, yeah, why are you complaining if it's so bad? Hey, don't you want it to be better? Because you can't, you can't go anywhere. You're stuck here.
I like that.
Squeezed out.
I like that analogy because it reminds me of that saying of like, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. Because then there's these people that are like, I mean, it could be raining.
I know it's a little warm, but
they're having an umbrella while someone continues to pee on their like,
it's okay.
Yeah,
put it down.
Oh man.
Oh.
So we had Atsidi on from Adelitas Apparel.
Oh, okay.
Are you gonna see them when you're here?
They were at my show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Hell yeah.
They and the family, everybody came out. It was awesome.
Hell yeah. That's great. I love Atsidi. But so we had them on, and like we've asked them before. Like, I kind of want to know, living your experience. Like, how do you view citizenship? And like, well, if you wanted to, like, how would you fix like citizenship in this country?
You know what's crazy? I just literally heard somebody put it in this way. You know, we have migration patterns. That's what we have. Our history as human beings is different migration patterns. You know, cold, warm, whatever. We moved freely, and now it's because of politics and geopolitics that we have different, you know, global migrations. And that's why, like, it isn't just a U.S. problem. You know, this is a global problem. You know, this is somebody from DR wants to go to Cuba. You know, they can't do that. You know, this is just such a clusterfuck of a global thing, specifically done by, you know, white supremacists. That's like, it's such a hard thing for you to be like, how do you fix this? How do you, basically, I would be abolish immigration systems globally. Let people, if their government is failing them, the people should have a right to leave. You know, I understand it'll be hard, people who were born in a country, if you're like, oh man, you know, the place I was born in, but if that's your will to want to leave, then that should be, you know, and whatever country you go to should understand that, like, I'm here to make a home, not to make trouble. You know, and that's where I actually met with Chila yesterday, and they told me about this. You know, we have 11 million undocumented people in this country right now, almost 12. And that's by design. You know, when this country was being stolen by white people, when they started setting up the immigration system, it's bullshit. Not everybody came through Ellis Island. White people coming through Ellis Island is fucking photos that they show you so they can be like, look how we did it the right way. No, you know what Congress used to do literally every year, which was this is the act that they were trying to bring back through Chila. It's still in Congress, still part of the immigration system. It's part of the immigration system since the very beginning. White people every year, 6 months would be like, okay, guys, we're going to update the Immigration Act blank. Now it's called the Immigration Act of 1929, which is one of the last times it was updated. But this Immigration Act would be if you're a white person, you have been here 10 years and you can prove that you've been here 10 years, citizenship. Don't worry about it. You're here. You didn't come through Ellis Island. We don't care. You're here. And that was updated almost every year to be like, if you came in 1797, 1812, da, da, da. But then in 1929 was it stopped being updated because that's sort of like where more, barceros and a lot more people of color started coming. And then in 1965 was when the immigration bill was changed. So people of color can, for the first time, request their families. Because up until then, only white people can request their family. People of color were only here as workers. You could not have a family member at all here because they didn't want you reproducing, fucking, and having more babies. White people, if you were one white man, you could bring up towards 1,000 people if you say they were your cousins. Yeah. So then, come 1965, the last time it was updated, the Immigration Act of 1929 now says if you came before 1972 and you can prove that, then you can be automatically become a citizen. That's somebody who's 60 years old. If this law was to be updated the same way white people did it for them fucking cousins and their friends from Europe, the law right now should be 2010. If you can prove you've been here since 2010, you should have a pathway to citizenship automatically. I should have a pathway to citizenship automatically. 8 million people should have a pathway to citizenship automatically if fucking Congress did the same shit they did for white people all through the fucking history.
That's fucking insane. I did not know any of that.
Look it up. Immigration Act 1929.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's the last time.
Right now it stands at 1972. If you were here before 1972, you have a pathway to citizenship. Who the fuck? That's literally 56-year-old at this point, you know what I mean?
But even that, like, it's like the fact that nobody knows about this is like even, because I'm sure there are people that have been undocumented this long, like that are in their 50s and 60s that don't even know about this, that they like can get that, like, even today.
When I found out about it, it literally feels like that white people doing that trickery again where they hide something from us that, they were doing, you know what I mean? Like they do that shit all the time. And that's the thing that I learned all of this yesterday, since 1985 was the last time like amnesty was passed where a lot of our parents got in. Mm-hmm. People always talk about Reagan passed amnesty, nobody really talks about the fucking conservative backlash from that amnesty. Like it was Trump on steroids. Like every single piece of legislation that keeps people undocumented for years was put into place from 1985 on. Since 1985, the immigration system has not been made better. It's been made fucking worse. And that's the problem. People were fucking pissed that Reagan passed that and did their fucking moves. Conservatives were riding along with Border Patrol for the first time. Conservatives were like, this is bullshit. They split away from their own fucking party for this bullshit.
It's so crazy. I know, as you're talking about this stuff, I know that it's like obvious, but it's like... But
it's not because, the backlash from Obama, it's obvious to us because we lived it. But when you think about... You don't hear about a kind of backlash from an immigration bill. The kind of the things that conservatives have done till today since 1985.
Right. It's just crazy to me to like, it's like, I think what's deeply unsettling when I realize it at its core is just like, how insane are you that you just like don't want people to live here? Like a certain, like, I know this sounds stupid, but it's just like, racism is fucking crazy. Yeah. Like you're a crazy person just to be that hateful, to be that heated, that like potentially somebody from a certain country or that looks a certain way is just going to live here.
Yeah.
And, pardon me, because I know that this is like surface level, like a realization, like it's very like, but it's like, I think people don't, because I think it's because there's so many arguments, like, you have to argue why you're a valid human being. Yeah. And like on the conservatives and anti-immigration people are like bending over backwards and doing like all kinds of mental gymnastics to justify why immigrants shouldn't be allowed in this country or immigrants from certain countries. And it just literally just boils down to like, their skin is brown, gross. Yeah. Like
every time I think about it, that's, I don't know why my brain just a little broke right now, but every time I think of it, I always think like, yeah, we're in the Matrix. Like, because the fact that there's like one idea and there'll be a completely opposite idea. I'm like, that's just a video game. There is no way that I'm like, human rights, we should all migrate, and there's somebody's like, I hate brown people, nobody should migrate. I'm like, who wrote that program? Who the fuck wrote the opposite program of me? I cannot believe it. It's fucking unbelievable.
And it's all arbitrary. Like, I remember I was working with this guy who was Australian.
Yeah.
And he told me, he's a white guy from Australia, and like he had his green card, and he was talking about adopting a child, and that he needed to get his citizenship, but he was having issues with it. He was having issues with getting citizenship, but the issue was that people from Australia are supposed to have a fast track to citizenship because of mineral trading.
Yeah.
Like it's all, I was like he was frustrated that he was like minorly inconvenienced.
Well, I mean, that's another thing about the immigration, you know, it's not just, it's country to country.
Right.
That's the bullshit of it too. You know, it's like people from Cuba have a much easier pathway to citizenship only because the U.S. hates Cuba's government. If the U.S. has an adversarial relationship with your government, you get a pathway easier.
Right.
Or friendship, you know what I mean? But it's something like you know, Dominican Republic, they want to be independent, you know, then fuck you, you know. Well, actually, excuse me. Let me say more with the Dominican Republic is they have more of a working relationship with, you know, with I'm saying this all wrong. For a long time, when the U.S. government like put on like those Banana Republic like governments, they don't see them as adversarial because they're doing exactly what the U.S. government wants them to do. You know what I mean? Even though Trujillo was one of the worst dictators we had in Dominican Republic, he was literally killing our people. Trujillo was so terrible for the Dominican Republic that most Dominican citizens didn't even know World War II was going on.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's how much he controlled the media. And was the U.S. government saying that he was a terrible person? No, the U.S. government literally trained him to be a soldier that they wanted, and he gave our resources and everything. So that's why, you know, if we come here because Trujillo's killing us, the U.S. government could be like, what are you talking about? He's our friend. Go back home. You guys are crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's some crazy gaslight stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Some crazy gaslighting shit. Like, you guys are crazy. Why do you guys not like this guy that we love?
Yeah.
Because he's fucking murdering us? You guys are crazy.
And what's crazy with the Cuba thing is that, like, predominantly the people that were accepted that had a fast track to citizenship were white Cubans.
Yeah, who hated Castro and the communist system, and they're like, we love that you hate communism. We love that so much.
Yeah, it's the same reason why, like the United States government, like, accepted Nazis, like Russians and Germans, or like Germans specifically, like, that were fleeing, like, retribution.
Yeah.
They like accepted them into the country because they're like, oh, you guys are Nazis, but you hate Russia, and that's who we're upset with right now.
Exactly. Yeah, you hate this, so forget all that other stuff. Also, you're white, but you know.
Yeah.
But, no, but you're right. But it is because like you hate Russia. Yeah, absolutely. That's always what it is. It is a relationship that they view. Helpful.
I think that's the thing that people. Oh, damn it. I think. Damn it. Okay. I think that's the thing that people also don't realize too is like people treat. So to kind of change the subject a little bit to prove this point was like I got into like a debate on TikTok. Also, if you see me talking shit on TikTok, I'm just driving up the algorithm, dog. Like I don't really like care. Like if somebody really upsets me, then I won't interact with them. But if somebody's just being stupid, I'm like, dude, give me my fucking numbers, dog.
Yeah.
But I got into like a debate with somebody because we were talking about like racism or something, and they were using like the definition of racism, like the dictionary definition.
Right.
And I was essentially telling this person like, do you think that the dictionary just like sprouted out of the ground? Like, do you think it just exists?
Wow. Yeah.
Like, no, people like, I was like, who do you think, like, we all use language and we all like, somebody might like a group of people might meet up and be like, okay, guys, this is what we're going to decide on. Like, this is what we all agree on that this word means. But it's like, no, language changes over time.
Yeah.
Like people, you like, I don't think people realize that language is a tool to like, it's a tool of expression.
Yeah.
Like these are just sounds.
And oppression.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
But it's literally like
Because think about it. If in the dictionary racism says to hate someone because of the color of their skin, white people could be like, see, you're racist towards me. But if they said racism, means like when white fucking fools stop people of color from doing the shit they want to do every day, you'd be like, oh shit, racism has a very specific, you know what I mean? White people put definitions in the dictionary for the fucking reasons, you know?
Exactly. And it's like who decides what words mean, right?
Yeah.
And it's like a group of like people that are in like a tower and robes and shit, like fucking like the Illuminati or whatever. But it's like, but I just mean like, people think that like immigration or like the economy or like these things like capitalism, like they think that these are like naturally occurring like phenomena when it's like, no, like immigration policies are literally like arbitrary.
That is exactly kind of the more I learn, like right now what's screwing me up mostly to like, you know, that I could get deported is because the government found out that like a bunch of times I lied when I was young, like about being a U.S. citizen when I wasn't, but it was just like literally to work as a nursing assistant. I never lied about my credentials. I really became a nursing assistant through a high school program. And then like, you know, once I got out of high school, like, you know, my work permit expired. I couldn't get it again. It was before DACA. So I just said, yeah, I'm a U.S. citizen. I got a little scratchy out of my actual social security number. You know what I mean? But in lying that, you know, it was to be a nursing assistant. So I was working and then it happened. I went back to work when the pandemic hit and I felt very proud of myself. Like while the pandemic hit, you know, and I went back to like, I was helping out racist Trump supporters during the pandemic who voted for a guy who ignored all this shit. But I'm still doing my part as just trying to be a good citizen to the country that I think I'm going to become a citizen to. And then that's when I thought I was at the finish line. They found out all the stuff about me and they're like, no, we could deport you now. Like you lied to us, you know? And I was like, yeah, but I lied to work as a nursing assistant, which is the thing I'm doing now to literally help your racist citizens. And that fucking like broke me. That's what broke me, that I'm like, so I'm good enough to clean your fucking racist people's ass, but I'm not good enough to become a citizen, you motherfuckers. And I found out that law that's affecting me was Bill Clinton in 1996. And before that, it was never even a problem. If you lied, it was just like, fine, just pay the fee. It's fine. You're working. You're doing fine. Now he's that dude. So everything that happens, like, people think like, yeah, lying, it's always been part of, no, man, that's only a 25-year-old law. That fucked me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like literally the year I came here, he passed that.
Well, there's so many things, like even like ICE, like that's a new.
01. Yeah.
Yeah.
But people really in their minds, like, they just, it's like the frog in the frying pan. You know?
Oh, right.
If you put a frog and then you start lighting it, they don't jump off because they feel the heat and they just like, they stay there until they die. But if you put it in there with the heat, they fucking jump off. Yeah, that's why immigrants coming in not going, this fucking country sucks, man. The heat is hot. Like, the heat is hot, baby.
And it's also a thing where, I mean, like, obviously, a big reason, I mean, I don't know if you've ever read, I still have to finish it, so forgive me, but Open Veins of Latin America.
Yeah.
Like in the opening, they talk about how, I think it was Lyndon Johnson, who was essentially saying like, in order for the U.S. to prosper, Latin America needs to be poor.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like Latin America's suffering is built into like the U.S. economy.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally. I mean, we saw it with like Clinton and the bananas, and like you're talking about like DR, Cuba, like all of these countries. Like it's built on exploitation. I mean, they did the same thing in Africa. Yeah. Where all the diamond mines and all of like the precious metals, all the resources and stuff. It was like a thing. It's crazy. Like these world countries come up and like the European countries, like
G7, the top 7 most richest countries. Like that's by design, man.
Yeah, and it's literally like and it's crazy because you learn this. I literally learned this in public school, like. That they would go to countries of like Asian people, African people, you know, Mesoamericans, Latin America, like, and they would split up sections of these continents for European exploitation. And America was actually like the one that did it, like that was like, hey, but also us, we're white. Like, like,
there's a book called Confessions of an Economic Hitman.
No,
that is this guy worked for the government, just going to countries. Trying to, because you know a lot of these Latin American countries have like public services, like you know our bananas are public, they're for the people, our oil, and this guy would be an economic hitman. He would come in and figure out what was weak about the company, how to break them up, how to like he worked for the CIA. He's like, I'm an economic hitman. If your country's doing well economically and we don't want you to do it, we'll figure out how to fuck you up.
Yeah, that's the point of that movie No Escape with Owen Wilson.
I don't know what that is.
The central premise is that Owen Wilson thinks that he's part of a project to help clean the waters of this, like, it's not Vietnam, it's next to Vietnam, but this country. And then while he's on vacation, a revolt happens, and the workers of the company that he's there to help take over the country, essentially, or that area. And he has to, like, escape. They're, like, murdering people. They're, like, there's rioting. And towards, like, the last 10 minutes of the episode, what's that guy's name? Something Brosnan. He played
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah. He plays the dude that brought him over, and he confesses to him, like, I work for one of the letter governments, and essentially that's what we're doing here. We're supposed to ruin the company so that we can come in and take over and make this, like, one of our resources.
Yeah, that's what they'll do.
And it's like, yeah, it's like a thing that they say outright in the movie, and it's like based on a true story.
That's when people were like, how did America destroy Latin America? Please. How did the U.S. destroy Latin America? And I'm like, dude, it's not just armies, man. Y'all have businesses.
Chocolate,
Y'all
dude.
have, like, fucking, like, these trade agreements. All these things are little pieces. Like, like, they're just comfortable living in their oblivion, Well,
it's like, what's the name of that guy? I don't know his name, but his speeches were popping up on TikTok for a minute. But he has a quote of saying, like, there's no such thing as a poor country, only poor people in countries. Because it literally is, like, most of precious resources come from Latin America and from Africa and, like, or even, like, Asia. And, like, the fact that all of these, like, European and like North American countries, like, governments have control over their resources is, like, wild. But that's how they destabilize. Like, it behooves them to keep countries destabilized.
That's exactly, I said this, like, just kind of talking to someone where they go, why do so many people from Latin America come here if it's so bad? Why do they come here? And I didn't mean to, like, sound so deep, but I was like, because you motherfuckers have our treasures. I mean, we know who's stealing it. We know where it is. Like, why would we not come to the people who are stealing it? We're not stupid. What do you think? We're stupid? We don't know who the hell has our oil? The one who's fucking selling the cheapest, motherfucker. So we're coming here to be like, if you're taking it and our government's not stopping you, I'm going to go where the fuck it is. Leave it there and I'll stay there. But you're bringing it, so you're getting me with you, with it.
Yeah, and it's one thing that was interesting to me, because you hear a lot about people who are trying to be, like, woke, so they complain about, like, the exploitation of the shoe industry or cell phones, but they don't really think about it. It's kind of like everything that we make here. Like, I mentioned a few seconds ago, but, like, even just chocolate. Chocolate is almost entirely taken from Latin America.
Well, yeah, chocolate and
yeah. Well, the beans that are harvested, or 90% of them are harvested from Latin America, like Brazil and.
Well, that is a thing. I'm not too sure, but, like, that's the thing that's happening right now with the new trade agreement. That Trudeau, the Mexican president, and the Biden administration are trying to figure out which part of the supply chain on microprocessors could be moved to Mexico. That's what they're doing. So they're trying to figure. And you're saying, like, some of the stuff come from, like, the Ivory Coast, but every country has a different part of the supply chain, so it's cheaper when it hits the country, the final origin. So that's why, like, that's what's fucking. Were you gonna say something about that?
I was just gonna say 70% of the world's cocoa beans come from West African countries: Ivory Coast, Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon.
Wow. Really?
Well, I feel like that.
I watched the thing about Hershey's once.
Yeah, but then they end up in Pennsylvania. You know what I mean? Like,
the guys who were growing it in the Ivory Coast, they were harvesting all these cocoa beans. They'd never eaten chocolate.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Somebody brought them a Hershey bar, and they were like, "This is what white people are doing with the things we're making."
Yeah.
This is fucking delicious.
But even that,
I thought they were gonna cry. They're like, wow, the work is done.
They were like, these guys are geniuses. It was hilarious.
I thought they were gonna cry. Like, this is what I spent all day for this fucking
That's
bar.
what it seems like. And then they're like, wow, this is amazing.
It's pretty good. This had almond in it. They do what? We put almond in it? Sometimes.
Oh, no, it is crazy, because it is, like, literally, like, it's processing the cacao bean is very similar to, like, processing cocaine. Like, like the like a crop of, like, what do they use to? Is it cacao for cocaine?
No, it's the cocoa leaf. It's a different plant.
So
you thought cocaine was chocolate?
No, I just couldn't. I was like, I forgot what.
They're spelled similarly.
They do call it nose candy.
And it's also ironic because chocolate is cacao, but cocaine is cacao. Or I forget it.
but the point is like the amount of processing it takes, like a crop of like the size of this room, like will make a handful of Coke. Like,
yeah,
that's the same thing with like the cacao bean.
Yeah, it's like a plant like this big that is whittled down to like a couple bars of chocolate.
Right.
But that's part of what I was saying.
Well, one thing that's crazy is that quinoa can only be produced in Honduras. Like they've been trying to. I mean, it might have changed, but at the time, like when quinoa was having its like it's come up as like the new superfood to have. It could only at the time it could only be produced in Honduras, and like that's like a part of their staple. It's like corn, or it's like yams and stuff. It's a staple of their cuisine, and but it could only produce because it's like it needed the right climate, like, and the elevation and stuff. So they couldn't figure out how to replicate it. But they were fucking like American companies are like taking quinoa and like making cookies and shit out of it, and it's crazy. It was like a very similar thing where like it wasn't that they hadn't had quinoa or they hadn't had these products, but they were doing like they were selling essentially, like the people that were harvesting it, growing it and harvesting it couldn't afford to buy it anymore.
Right.
And they couldn't afford the products that they were using it for. Like quinoa cookies became a thing because it's like, oh, it's like super healthy. It's a healthy cookie, you know? But it was fucking them up in like multiple ways where one, they couldn't afford to like have it. And then also they're used to, it was like a thing where like they didn't have a lot of plastics. So people are just like eating this I could be wrong about this. This could have just been a story somebody told me, but it was like they had a litter problem because they were throwing wrapping paper and like product wrapping on the ground because they're used to just like eating shit, wrapping it in like banana leaves and stuff, and then like tossing the banana leaves because it's like biodegradable.
Wow, yeah, and that doesn't break down. So
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of what I was getting. That was like a second part. I don't know how old the statistic I had was about cacao, but part of the thing that I wanted to mention is a lot of the places where it was originally harvested can no longer produce it because the amount of mass production and like deforestation that happened to get it in the first place has destroyed the environment of that like foreground. That combined with like uncontrollable elements that are like fungus that's evolved because of industrial revolution, it like is incurable and it kills the trees and it kills the soil, and so it's like they have to keep migrating the crop and figuring out where it can grow.
Yeah, aren't we like not eating the same bananas that they ate 50 years
clones.
ago?
Yeah,
Like,
the
it's like
original.
a new
So
banana.
this is an interesting thing. Banana flavored candy is an imitation of a plant that hasn't existed for almost 100 years.
It does taste different.
Yeah.
Banana candy does taste like.
Why don't they just
Yeah, they
flavor?
Well, because they're making it based on what it's what people know, so it's like based on what they've always made it as. But the fruit that it's based on, the original banana it's based on, has been extinct for like 80 years.
Yo, every time I eat candy, I'm just gonna go R.I.P. I'm gonna be like R.I.P. bro. Like we miss you.
Bananas now are better though. The old bananas used to suck. They were filled with seeds.
They were filled with
They're
seeds.
filled with seeds?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Was like
Scientists
Yeah, you
like,
got those
fucked
little
me
seeds.
up. I don't know what the world is.
Dude, genetic modification has like improved. Like the
I
original
love genetic
watermelon.
modification.
The original watermelon
Fixed it with
tasted
something.
more like cucumber, and it was about this big. And you know,
Yeah.
now we have these
Oh,
things
wow.
with the seeds. They produce seedless watermelon, seedless grapes through genetic. Californian tomatoes. I think I could be wrong about this. Some form of tomato was spliced with like a
Tobacco. I saw that on The Simpsons.
no, but like a gene from like fish or from like Ebola. Not Ebola, but
I wasn't too far off the tobacco and tomatoes.
they were gene spliced
Tobacco.
with the same genes of a certain bacteria so that they could withstand the cold.
Oh yeah.
But the cross of that is that now they have to be refrigerated or they go bad after like 3 days.
Oh, man, that's crazy. So I was a young boy when I first found out that I was undocumented. Yeah.
Oh wait, so you didn't know? Like,
I knew a little bit, but it wasn't really like I'm a very like silly person, so I didn't think everything's so serious. So like when my parents would be like, "No comentado, no diga nada," I'm like, whatever you guys say. But then it wasn't until like I was 17 and I actually got a scholarship to go to St. John's University. I was like my dream college. I was really good at science. I wanted to be a cardiologist because I didn't save my grandma's life when she had a heart attack, but she had a heart attack in front of me. I called the ambulance. I got help downstairs. Like I was 7 years old. So since then I was like I always wanted
You
to
found
do
your calling.
Yeah, so I wanted to do something like that. But then I got a scholarship, and like I went to my aunt and uncle. I was living with them at the time. I was like, hey, I got the scholarship. They want a social security number, like all the stuff. And my aunt was like, estúpido, que tú no entiendes. Undocumentado, you have none of that. And like, it was like 2005. So like, you know, Google was like, but it wasn't like popular. Like, you just go like, all right, how do undocumented people go to college? You know, so just my aunt and uncle telling me no was just pretty much like, no, I can't. So that's really when I started putting it together. And then like, I started getting into trouble and I didn't care about school anymore. So I got sent to live in Illinois with my mother for the first time. I really didn't grow up with her, even though she brought me here. And then when I was 18, I was like, I'm miserable. Like, I know I'm undocumented, but I hate this little Aurora, Illinois. It's like a super racist town. And I just want to go back to New York. So my mom got me the social with like only valid with a work permit scratched off and a fake ID. And she was like, que vaya con Dios. You know what I mean? And that's why I started doing stand-up comedy, because I was like, I want to avoid using this fake stuff as long as possible.
Right.
So stand-up, like when I first got to New York, like I was like, it was just on a whim. A girlfriend I was dating was like, oh, you're funny. Like, you should try doing comedy. And I was like, oh, I'll do it. And, you know, I found out they pay cash and they don't ask for paper. So I was like, well, I just got to do is be funny. Like, I just got to be funny. So I got funny like pretty quickly. I started getting a few paid gigs, and then status starting to change. So I was able to go after like CNA and all that stuff. So. But yeah, but I really didn't know until I was like 17 what the fuck that all meant.
Do you remember the first joke that you told?
Yes, I do actually, and I don't know if it's offensive or not, but I talked about like it's so funny because it's actually the first joke that I wrote. But now that I think about it, it's actually pretty like, it tells a lot about me. I was about Dora the Explorer. And I think that Dora is really just a coyote with a bunch of Mexicans in that book bag. And I'm just waiting for the one episode where they pop out. I was like, listen, you're taking too long. Like, just give us the map and we'll take it from here. Like, so then people were like, oh, that's pretty funny. I was like, God, that's the first joke I wrote. Yeah.
That'd actually be a really good, like, POV sketch. Like, Dora is the coyote, like, taking you. So because the whole show is POV. Yeah. So that would be the thing. Like, the whole time the person watching is actually just someone that she's sneaking over.
First, we have to go over el puente. And then past la migra. You know? Can you say migra? Migra.
Just little kids yelling at the TV.
Migra. Did you see the migra? Migra, no swipe. That was the first joke I wrote. Yeah, that was my first bit. Do you remember your first joke?
My first joke that I told on stage, I had two. One was, it was like a two-parter. It was like, do you ever think that mosquitoes are ever like, this needs to go viral? Yeah. And then it was like how disease, like how how, what's it called? Breakout diseases. Like whenever there's like an epidemic, the disease sounds like a hip hop album.
Yeah.
So there's like dengue fever, fucking Zika was the one.
Yeah,
Zika, SARS, COVID. Well, COVID wasn't.
COVID-19. Young brother in the house.
Yeah, I remember I told that joke, and somebody, this guy named Chris, who he's just like a comedy fan. He used to go to the open mic just to hang out, and like a year in, he was just like, dude, can I tell you something? He was like, I love you. You're like my favorite comedian. He's like, but when you first started, I was there and I was like, fuck, this dude is so corny. Like,
it's funny.
But it's like, you're going to tell stupid jokes.
Yeah,
you know?
I honestly give more credit to any comic that comes in their first time with an actual, like a joke like that. Like most people are like, most men, it's like jerking off jokes when the first like time they hit I used to do a shot every time a new comic would do a jerking off joke, and man, sometimes I would get pretty hammered during those fucking open mics. But yeah, but the fact that you came in, or even that I came in with like a Dora joke, I was like, okay, we came in with a little something different from the beginning, you know?
Yeah,
we're not in the pack like everybody else.
Well, I had like off the bat.
Well, let me set it up, because so when I was 25, right? At
this
time,
was for your birthday.
So I used to have a spot that we called the Up and Up, and it was like me and some friends use it for a creative space, but it was like a small venue. I was into the DIY scene, so I would like put on like music shows and stuff. And so my thing at the time was like live storytelling. I was like getting into the Moth and stuff, so I would like do live storytellings, go to open mics and do that. And so it was my birthday, so I was gonna do this thing that was like all night, like show up, go up, like whatever you want to perform, music, stories, jokes, whatever. And so Ryan worked with me at the time, and this was before me and Ryan weren't close until we started doing stand up.
Yeah.
But I was driving him home, and he was like, hey, I'm not gonna do like an impression of you, but he was just like,
hey man. Everyone that does an impression of me just sounds like they're doing an impression of like early 2000s Michael Jackson.
Oh, they're gonna say Towley.
Howdy how y'all wanna get high? It's funny because I could do tell.
But he was just like,
Y'all wanna get high?
He was like, can I go up for your birthday? And I was like, yeah, what are you gonna do? And he's like, I think I'm gonna do stand, like I want to do stand up. I can tell jokes. And I was like, driving, like thinking, I didn't know that he was interested in comedy. I didn't know anything about that. So I was just like, yeah, sure, like whatever you want, dude. I was just like, yeah, I'll let my brother like do his thing. Yeah, that's like literally what it was. It was like, yeah, I'll let my brother do his thing. And then he showed up and fucking like had a full 5-minute set and like crushed. Like everybody was like, what the fuck? Where did this come from?
It's funny. They've evolved obviously since then, but I still do all those jokes.
Right.
What was your first one? Do you remember?
My very first joke was about my mom. And us learning about my autism together. And it was essentially like, it was a bonding experience for both of us because before that, our relationship was very tense and very awkward. And it turned into 2 separate jokes. One of them I won't say because it uses an expletive that I can't say on YouTube. But the other one was like, and this brought us together. It was a really great experience. But now she knows so much about autism that she's just diagnosing everybody. I had a friend come over, and while we're hanging out, he gets hungry. So he reaches in his backpack, and he pulls out a tub of cottage cheese and a spoon, which I'll admit is fucking weird. But she stares at him the whole time, and so I have to go up to him and be like, what are you doing? She's like, David's autistic. Look at him. And I'm like, no, he's not. Why are you saying that? And it's like, well, who eats cottage cheese like that? That's fucking weird. Dave's autistic. And I was like, cottage cheese doesn't make you autistic. I hate cottage cheese. And she's like, yeah, but it's a spectrum. Maybe he's just on a different part of this, but there's no dairy section to the spectrum. Yeah. So it's changed a lot since.
You did the whole joke.
Oh, I like the way you
I thought that was expected.
That's the thing with Ryan is he can't just pitch me jokes. He has to tell them. Like, you know, when you're hanging out with your friends, you're like, what do you think about this? Yeah. And it's like, da-da-da-da.
Oh, no, then, we'll get along because I have to tell you the whole thing. I have to tell you the 3 mechanisms that I have and which one works best. Because every time I think of a joke, it's not just like set up. I think of like a whole story and how do I get it there?
I will say I've gotten better at recognizing when the joke isn't fully formed. So I'll be like, well, this is the premise.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's also the worst for me because Ryan's had stuff where we try to be honest with each other, and now I'm just like, Ryan, don't ask me my opinion because I'm gonna tell you that I don't think it's funny, and then you're gonna go on stage and say it, and it's gonna be the funniest thing that anybody's ever heard. Like this happened. Like
the last thing was the Yoda thing.
The Yoda thing. Wait, what was that?
It was so I do 2 kinds of impressions. There's impressions that I actually put work into and like learn the voice. And then there's impressions where the joke is more about the joke itself than the actual voice. Yeah. And so one of my dumb impressions kind of only does well in a room full of comics, but it's Yoda doing like corny 80s style monologues. So it's like, airline food, what deal there is? Right, am I? What I'm saying, that guy knows. And that's the whole bit. And comedians think it's really funny, but don't really think
I hate it.
It's so stupid. It's really stupid.
It's happened like countless times where he'll pitch a joke to me. And in the beginning, I used to be like, I don't think that's funny. I think you have other funny stuff. And so, and then we go to an open mic and then he does it and everybody's fucking dying. So I got to a point where I'm like, I will let you tell me your joke so that you can hear it out loud. Yeah. Cause
but no action. Yeah. Sometimes you got to get it out.
So you have to say it. So I was
like,
I'll let you say the joke, but I'm not going to tell you my opinion. Like
I stopped telling my girlfriend jokes.
Right.
Like, cause she's just like, You know what I mean? On everything. So I'm like, you know what? You ruined the heart that I had for it. And I think I'm going to perform it tonight with a little less heart. So I'm not going to tell you. Like, if there's a joke that's hitting my heart, I'm like, I'm going to wait till I get on stage. I don't care if it's bombs, but this is in the heart right now. You know? Like,
right.
Yeah, that's how I am. But she ruins it for me. Like, I can't.
Yeah, it is more an act of, like, just getting it out. Because there's sometimes where I'll just say it to anyone that'll listen to me so I can hear the premise. And it's like, I can't tell my mom fat jokes because she doesn't like fat joke humor. So she'll smile and she'll be like, oh.
I made the mistake of telling politics jokes to some white comics. Like, I don't get it. I'm like, shut up. Like, you don't get it. Like, yeah. So you gotta have the right audience. Well, I think it's really cool that you two are like doing this together. Like, you know, as a comics such a solo game. So like, I'm always like, especially when it's like brothers. I'm like, oh my god, it's so cool.
We did have to.
All brothers, like you guys, the Menendez brothers, whatever they do together. I'm always like, that's cool.
That's funny though, because that is kind of why Dominic changed his stage name.
Oh yeah, I immediately I think it was after doing 3 open mics. We used to go together. And I was just going up as Dominic Reyes. And he's Ryan Reyes. So, but Ryan Reyes has alliteration. So like we would go up and then we would like sign up right after each other or get pulled like really close to each other.
So what do you go by now?
I go by Dominic Angel.
Oh, okay.
So which is my middle name.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
When I first started comedy, nobody could say Dalmau. So somebody just like, you're Miguel Angel. So
that
was like literally for like 3 years. There's still some comics that started with like, are you still going by Miguel Angel? I'm like, dude, I'm Che Guerrero now, bro. I went Miguel Angel, Miguel Dalmau, because one of my buddies was like, man, if they could say fucking Galifianakis, bro, they could say Dalmau.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You know
Is
what I
like
mean?
that's what
You're
I told.
right.
I take full credit for this, but there's a comedian named Frank Ulloa, and he used to go up as Frank U, and I would be like, dude, what's your real name? And he's like, it's Ulloa, and then I was like, why don't you just go by your full name? Like, I was like, first of all, that sounds fucking rad as shit.
Yeah.
Frank Ulloa. And then he was like, yeah, but I don't want them to like make jokes or like, I don't want to like draw attention, like them to waste time. Like, how do you like, and I was like, dog, they're already wasting time going, Frank you very much. Like for real, they were every single time he went up, they were like, Frank you. And, or like, and then he would get
unless
off
he
stage.
leaned into it, it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, and I was just like, they're already making fun of your name. Just make them say the name.
Thank you very much. Was actually, he was putting himself in a worse hole and just
exactly.
Well, yeah, what are white comics gonna make fun of? Like, they just come out racist at that point.
Yeah. So I was like, because I think he went up at Kill Tony, and the first time he went up it was Frank U, and then after that he went by Frank Ulloa, and then but it's like, yeah, it's a thing, like you said, like if they could pronounce Galifianakis, then they'll learn how to pronounce your name. Like it's such a weird thing too with like non-white comics or non-white people. They don't like, they're like, I don't know how to say this. Is so fucking weird.
Even honestly, the first couple of years I had that with my name, and my name is really easy.
Yeah. My
first name is Ryan, but it's spelled with an I instead of a Y. But even with that, they were like, Rian Reese?
Rian, like, they made you, yeah.
Also, the thing is, the thing that was always they thought that your first name was spelled weird, so they mispronounced both names.
Yeah.
they short-circuited it. Rian Reese? No, man, you short-circuited on that one. I didn't change it like for anything because people couldn't say my last name, but people was like, why do you change it from Miguel Dalmau? Because it was like a good 10 years of a career with that name. To Che Guerrero now. It's because I was legally named after my father, but from the little bit that I told you that we had to skate because of him, and then when he did find us, my dad's like this, like just a narcissist asshole who like he kind of like latches onto like my name to make himself feel better. Like, look what Miguel Dalmau is doing,
right? And
also growing up, like whenever I did something wrong, I never got to do something wrong on my own. It was always, look, all Miguel Dalmaus are alcoholics. All Miguel Dalmaus are... It's like you're... Yeah, like all Miguel Dalmau cheats on their partner. I'm just a young kid who has like, 2 girlfriends, It's like, all Miguel Dalmaus, like... No, like you have 2 people you're talking to. You're 15 years old.
Sprinkle this in.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, my family would be very harsh on anything.
But it wasn't because of you. It was because it was hereditary. Like...
Yeah, so there was one point where I found out some very troubled things that my father did to my mom beyond what I already knew. And I just like snapped and I was like, I don't want this guy's name on me anymore. And I found out that like, as much as I heard like growing up, Miguel Dalmau was such like poison. I found out that Che actually means buddy. Like it just means friend. It's just like a phrase like, hey buddy. So like, I love that. I want people when they say my name, like, hi buddy, hi pal. And then I told my mom, and my mom's like, that's really sweet. And I was like, and she's like, are you gonna keep Dalmau? And I was like, well, your last name, my mom's last name is Guerrero. And I was like, we don't have any heirlooms in our family, so this is like the closest thing we have to an heirloom. So I'm gonna take your last name on stage. She was like, wow.
That's
Thank
pretty
you.
sick.
So I use my mom's last name.
Yeah,
now.
That's beautiful.
I gotta be honest, that was a little tricky.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm joking. So I have a very soft voice, and I'm autistic. So a thing that I run into a lot is people love calling me buddy.
Oh.
but they say it in like, "Hey, buddy, how's it going?" Like a camp counselor voice.
Oh yeah.
But it's not until they find out you're autistic.
Exactly. It's like,
I'm sorry, dude.
so you're like, yeah, everyone would say, "Hey, buddy," to me. I'm like, oh.
No, but yeah. See, I'm the opposite. I love it. I love when people are like, "Hey, Che." I'm like, yeah, it's like saying "Hey, buddy" to me, like because I only got like nasty when people call my name. You know, so I was like, when I hear Miguel and I hear my family, like, I'm still like, oh, yeah, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not in trouble. Just call me to call me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's, we're about ready to wrap it up.
But
so,
this has been great.
Yeah, this has been super fun. Thanks for being here. I'm glad we were able to make this happen. Real quick, just to touch back on like where can people find, like if they want to learn more about the immigration reform that you're pushing for?
Yeah.
If you don't have it off the top of your head, you can send it to us and we'll link.
Actually, Chidla is the one that's actually pushing for that. So,
Okay.
The shirt I'm wearing right now, if you can go to it's chidla.org. Yeah, they can go there. And
Okay.
then also, I'll be making videos about it coming up because, 2024 presidential, a lot of Senate race, a lot of, House races. So this is going to be the year we're going to try and push for that the next year and a half. So
Okay.
follow me on My Undocumented Ass on TikTok, Instagram, and also my podcast is My Undocumented Ass. So I'll be giving a lot of information the next year on this very simple movement of like, let's just update the registry for when you were here 10 years ago, you could become a citizen. Let's help 8 million people out with literally just one act of Congress.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And Ryan, if they made it this far, where should they comment?
If you made it this far, what's your favorite white guy story? Everyone, a lot of our followers have one. I have one. I have 3.
Your favorite caucasity moment.
Exactly.
That
When that word
caucasity.
came out, it was my favorite thing.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
your favorite caucasity moment?
And if you're white, just say you're sorry, okay?
Just write sorry. Help the comments.
Hashtag my bad, bro. So, from us at Un Poquito,
Don't
fly.